Okay, welcome to Thursday for Language Arts. We are moving on and wrapping up our first paragraph for paragraph of the week. So today is when we are going to take all of our parts and put it together. So this day is going to be a little light as far as work goes, but I'm sure you won't mind that. So when we form a paragraph, we need to make sure that we've taken all these parts and pieces that go together now. So what should a paragraph start with? It should start with a topic sentence. What does our topic sentence do? Our topic sentence tells our reader what we are going to be talking about. And it doesn't give away any of the details yet about our topic. Then we have the meat, right? We have our supporting details, and our supporting details must agree or support our topic sentence. Meaning, again, that if my topic sentence is about an event, it is about going to Disneyland, then my supporting sentences, those details need to say stuff about my trip. So I cannot throw in there that I ate a bagel for breakfast before Disneyland because I'm only talking about my time at Disneyland. So we have our topic sentence, then we have our meat inside there, our supporting details, and then finally we have our closing or conclusion sentence. That's the last sentence of our paragraph. It wraps it up in a nice, neat package for our reader, and it does not give any new information. So when I write my conclusion sentence, I'm looking at my topic sentence and I'm saying, okay, how can I restate this or say it again, but in different words? So it gives you some space here that you are going to be doing that. I'm going to jump over to my topic sentence and my conclusion sentence here. And then I'm going to swing up to my details that we wrote on Tuesday. I have a really simple chunk of work in front of me because mine is on a computer, but I would prefer if you were writing this and get the chance to handwrite and the practice with rewriting this paragraph. But for me, I'm going to look at my details here, and then I need to decide which order they're going to go on. I think I'm going to leave them in this order. So I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste this here. Now there's something that is an issue with my details here. If I start reading my paragraph, it says, last summer I took a trip to Disneyland. My friends told me that if I sat in the front seat, I wouldn't get wet. They were wrong. I was so soaking wet that I looked like I had just taken a shower. Well, now my reader doesn't know what I'm talking about because I said I took a trip to Disneyland, and then I say that they told me if I sat in the front seat. Well, sat in the front seat of what? Disneyland? So I need to amend my sentence here a little bit. And I'm going to say, the very first ride we rode was Splash Mountain. Make sure to capitalize it. Whoops. Make sure to add an L in it. Splash Mountain, comma. Now my reader knows what I'm saying. The very first ride we rode was Splash Mountain. My friends told me that if I sat in the front seat, I wouldn't get wet. They were wrong. I was so soaking wet that it looked like I had just taken a shower. And I think actually after rereading this here that I am going to make this its own sentence and take out the comma and give it a period instead. There we go. So I've got one detail in my paragraph sandwich there now. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab my second detail, copy it, and paste it. Now I'm going to read again what I have so far and make sure that it still makes sense and flows for my reader as I'm adding to it. Last summer, I took a trip to Disneyland. The very first ride we rode was Splash Mountain. My friends told me that if I sat in the front seat, I wouldn't get wet. They were wrong. I was so soaking wet that it looked like I had just taken a shower. I really wanted to get a picture with some of the Star Wars characters, but when we went, they weren't available, so I had to wait for 30 minutes to get a picture with Chewbacca. But it was so worth it, and he even made fun of me. I think on my second detail here, I want to add in something that again ties it back to Disneyland. So I want, even though this, yes, was at Disneyland, but I don't really state that. So I want to say I really wanted to get a picture with some of the Star Wars characters while we were there. I don't need to say while we were at Disneyland. There, the word there connects back to my subject and implies that that is what I am talking about. So I really wanted to get a picture with some of the Star Wars characters while we were there. And let's see, I think that should be a period. And then let's take out the but and just say when we went to find them, they weren't available. So I had to wait for 30 minutes to get a picture with Chewbacca, but it was so worth it, and he even made fun of me. Okay, detail number 2 is in place. Now, I'm going to come up and I'm going to grab my last one. And I'm going to paste it in there because the rides were so much fun that I couldn't leave without riding some of them a second time. I even rode Space Mountain 3 times. So now that I'm putting my paragraph together, there's something that's bugging me a little bit, and maybe it's bugging you too. I have 2 sentences or 2 details about rides and 1 detail about not rides, about Chewbacca. Should I switch that middle sentence? Well, that's really up to you. I want to talk about my trip to Disneyland in general and not just the rides. So I'm going to leave it in there. If I was being a little pickier about the flow of my paragraph and not just the mechanics of a paragraph, we might want to change it. But for now, I think it is okay. So now I'm going to take my closing sentence, and I have my whole paragraph here. So I'm going to read it one more time to make sure that it looks good to me and sounds good to me. A tip I gave you the other day when going back through your work is to read it out loud. Oftentimes we can catch sentences that sound a little funky easier when we read out loud than we can when we're just reading in our head. So last summer, I took a trip to Disneyland. The very first ride we rode was Splash Mountain. My friends told me that if I sat in the front seat, I wouldn't get wet. They were wrong. I was so soaking wet that it looked like I had just taken a shower. I really wanted to get a picture with some of the Star Wars characters while we were there. When we went to find them, they weren't available, so I had to wait for 30 minutes to get a picture with Chewbacca. But it was so worth it, and he even made fun of me. The rides were so much fun, and I think while I'm reading it, I think I want to add something. That's the great way to read this aloud. The rides at Disneyland were so much fun that I couldn't leave without riding some of them a second time. I even rode Space Mountain 3 times. I had a really amazing time on my trip to Disneyland. So, look at that. I have an awesome, hearty, meaty, full paragraph there. It ended up being more than 5 sentences. We did say a paragraph needs to be at least 3 to 5 sentences. So I have a nice meaty paragraph here. When I check back over the necessary parts, my topic sentence, my supporting details, my closing sentence, they are all there. They're all related to the same topic. And now you have put together a perfect paragraph. So when you are done with completing your paragraph, the sheet for filling it in for Thursday, it is in Google Classroom under assignments if you wish to print that out and use it, or you may write it in a Word document or Google Docs. Please upload it to your student folder when you are done, and then go ahead and complete your 30 minutes of SSR with your Good Fit book.